When we discuss government, the Greek language heavily imbues our vocabulary, and this is very true with the term oligarchy. Oligarchy is derived from the Greek meaning oligos, meaning few, and archo, meaning to rule or command. Now, when we combine these two words, we get the term oligarchy, which means government rule by the few. A historical example is Sparta. In Sparta, you would have a group of 28 elders over the age of 60 in combination with the two kings, and they would get together and make rules or proposals. And this group of elders was the few that ruled Spartan government. So, as the small group rules, it would be termed an oligarchy. Characteristics of an oligarchy include a small group that exercises control for corrupt or selfish reasons. Citizens typically have little involvement in government. And we have different types of oligarchies, different forms that fall under that. One would be a military oligarchy or a military control. It would be a small group of people that rule by force, and this could be like a military junta. You also have a social position, a rule by few who are considered to be in a favorable social position, and this term could be like an aristocracy. C, rule by the wealthy. So Aristotle coined the term plutocracy, which typically means the rule of the wealthy or the rule of the few wealthy. And then also a religious oligarchy, and a religious oligarchy could be termed theocracy. A theocracy is when you have a main governing body with a certain religious belief. And E, you can also have a combination of any of these in existence. A literary or fictional example of an oligarchy is found in The Hunger Games. Most of you are familiar with The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. The characteristics that categorize the government in The Hunger Games as an oligarchy would be the capital controls all districts. The capital is a small group of people who control all the districts in The Hunger Games. They also have unreasonable rules that don't take the best interests of the citizens into heart. For example, poaching. When Katniss Everdeen's out in the woods hunting for a deer, we find out that poaching is actually punishable by death. This is a characteristic of punishment that would be exercised under an oligarchic control or an oligarchic government. They also typically rule by fear. Now we know the actual Hunger Games would be an example of how they rule by fear. They are giving a small smidgen of hope to the other districts that they could advance and basically do something good for their district, that the capital will look on them favorably. And like I said before, they do not take into account the citizens' best interest. We know that certain districts are famished and starving, while the capital is rich and affluent, and they're doing quite well economically. May the odds be ever in your favor with the term oligarchy. There's also the Law of Oligarchy. A German sociologist by the name Robert Michels, author of the book Political Parties, came up with the concept that all forms of organization and government, especially in representative democracies, lead to oligarchy. I want you to research this concept for homework, and I want you to research the basis of his claim. Why does Robert Michels believe that typically democracies will devolve into oligarchies or autocracies? And do you agree with him? Why or why not? And do you think that the United States perhaps may be ruled by an oligarchy under his claim?